from the Blitz Creek Studio.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another beautiful episode of the Sideline Podcast, episode 29. I am your host, Adam Flores, once again joined by Christopher Marquez.
Yo.
What is going on, everybody? We got another beautiful episode. We are headed into week 3 of the NFL season. Well, we're actually already in week 3, Thursday night football
has commenced.
What did you think about that Thursday night football game right off the bat? I just want to...
I was actually surprised at how the scoreline shook out.
Yeah.
Miami looked better than everybody thought they would. Everybody was calling for the whole front office and coaching staff to be fired before that game was even played.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Tua played a bad game up until
He
the
did
fourth
play a
quarter.
bad game.
Up until the fourth quarter.
No, he played a bad game.
You really think so?
Dude, he had 34 passing attempts for like 146 yards.
What? You got that on the dot.
That's a bad game. That is a really, really bad game. I hit that right on the head.
Jesus Christ. That was so much funnier in person.
Yeah, but really, there's a lady at my work that's a Dolphins fan, and she texts me like at halftime. She's like, "We're in this," and I was like, "No, you're not. Your quarterback is Tua. Your quarterback is Tua."
Yeah, Tua remembered that he was Tua in the fourth quarter and threw that late interception. And
James Cook.
They also got that roughing the punter penalty, and that's what gave Josh Allen and the Bills an extra shot at getting that 28 points up on the board.
Yeah.
So
overall, kind of a positive performance from Miami. Right?
Overall,
unless you're a HN owner, then very, 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 very sad to see him get poached for a touchdown.
I mean, he still had a great game without the touchdown.
I know,
like for fantasy purposes. I mean, dude, you have 7 receptions as your running back. He was wide receiver 1 on that team.
Yeah, but he could have scored right there.
No, he should have scored. I mean, we saw Ollie Gordon get in the end zone. Ollie Gordon was actually very involved as a runner. He had 9 carries, just shy of Devon Achane's 12 carries. So he's right there neck and neck. And if Miami decides to give this backfield to Ollie Gordon in the running game specifically, not necessarily the passing game, it could eat into a lot of Devon Achane's fantasy production. But Devon Achane, I mean, in full PPR, he had 7 receptions, 29 yards. That's 9.9 points just in the receiving game. And then you tack on another 6.2 points in the rushing game. So he had a 15-point game. But with that touchdown, like you said, it does make it the world of a difference. It's a 15-point game versus a 21-point game.
It must be very frustrating to play with Tua as a skill position player. Probably even as a lineman, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Tyreek Hill turned 10 targets into 49 yards.
Yeah. Well, the reason is because they play this weird like pistol formation, and Tua literally snaps the ball, turns one way, and throws the ball. There's no
progression.
Well, there's no space for the routes to develop, so it's just it's very hard for them to move the ball downfield effectively, which you saw with Tua's stat line. There's also one play in the game where Tua, like I think it was in the second quarter maybe, he rolls out of the pocket to try to pick up a first down with his feet, and instead of baseball sliding for the first down, he dolphin dove right into the floor, and I thought he died.
Hey, get it? Dolphin dove?
Yeah, dude. You know what I mean? I was like, what is he doing?
You know
like,
what surprises me?
Baseball slide, bro. Like, we've all played baseball. You know what I mean? We've all played baseball. All of us. Every single one of us has played a game of baseball.
You know what surprises me is that Tua actually had, according to ESPN, Tua had a better QBR than Josh Allen, which is weird. Well, I mean, like, I get it. QBR isn't the most important stat, but 63.9, and he was 0.2 decimal points better than Josh Allen, 63.7. So they were neck and neck. But, I mean, Josh Allen definitely had the better game.
He's just a better quarterback.
Yeah, he had 3 passing touchdowns to no interceptions, so I don't understand how they do that QBR. I mean, when you have 3 passing touchdowns, no interceptions, and you had like an 80% completion percentage, and you're only at a 63.7 compared... I mean, Tua had 34 passing attempts. He was like 70% on the dot. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, I don't know how they figure that out.
I don't know how they figure it out either.
Definitely misleading.
James Cook, have yourself a day. He was again. I think he's the running back 1 on the season right now in terms of fantasy points. He had 19 carries, 108 yards. He averaged 5.7 a carry and 1 touchdown. He, I don't think saw a lot of receiving work in this game. He did have 3 receptions, but only turned it into 10 yards. The receiving game in Buffalo, I don't like it right now.
Yeah, it's tough to call.
I really don't like it. You have yourself a Dalton Kincaid day. You have yourself a Keon Coleman day. You have yourself a Khalil Shakir game. And I don't like playing that guessing game anymore. I think I'm going to be sitting Keon Coleman from here on out until I see more out of him. I did personally start Keon Coleman in one of my leagues, and it was definitely a mistake. He only had 3 receptions for 20 yards.
Yeah, big bust right there.
Big bust. Dalton Kincaid, have yourself a day 2. He had 5 receptions for 66 yards. Almost had 2 touchdowns, but he did only have 1. He did, I think he had like a back shoulder post or like a corner touchdown, and it just went right through his hands. But it wasn't really his fault. It was good coverage. It was slightly overthrown. So there's not much to talk about this Thursday night football game. Miami did stay in it for 3/4 of the game, and then Buffalo just really took over in the third quarter, and Tua really remembered who he was in the fourth quarter.
0-3 start for Buffalo. Or not for Buffalo, for Miami. 3-0 for Buffalo.
Yeah, 3-0 Buffalo, 0-3 Miami, same division. I think we know.
Did they just win the division on that game?
I think so.
I think they just won the division in week 3. That's crazy.
I really think they won the division.
That is crazy work. You must be happy if you're a Bills fan.
Yeah,
probably don't got a lot else to be happy about, but
Shout out my friend Ryan. He's a Bills fan.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we got a lot of games to talk about. We are going to be talking about the Steelers, Patriots, Jets, Bucs, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to be going over absolutely every single one of them right now, but we're going to be getting into them each individually. Let's start off with the Steelers at the Patriots. Do you want to kick it off with a little voice note that we have? We actually have a voice note from one of our listeners here at the Sideline podcast.
Here. I'm getting better at this, by the way.
You are getting
folks.
better.
Look at this. Here we go. Ready?
Ready?
Yo,
Boom.
What's up, Sideline Podcast? Big fan here.
What's going on?
I just had a question for you guys today. With all the additions added to the Steelers' offense and defense, why do you think that the Steelers are still struggling, even on the defensive side of the ball, just to limit teams from scoring 30 each game? And if you had to pick one asset of the Steelers, who would you prioritize picking as a possible pickup in the next coming weeks, or just someone who can be a producer for me? Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for listening. Everyone, go listen to the Sideline Pod. It's great. Like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, hold on. Number 1, don't be leaving us voice messages while you're driving. Okay, it's a very, very dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, please don't be.
Focus on the road.
Voice memoing and driving,
or even what you could do is pull over somewhere to a parking lot, do the voice note, and then keep driving.
Pull over to the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, driving with the cell phone, $131 ticket right there. Don't know how I know that, but
you don't know?
I don't know.
That? No. Okay.
But anyways, so the Steelers, huh?
Yeah. So he asked a couple questions. First off, he asked, I don't know what order I would have to.
I don't know what he asked.
I don't know what he asked. Who cares about this? No, I'm kidding. I think the Steelers are kind of one of those weird teams. They've been one of those weird teams ever since Ben left this team, and they've just really been the poster boy of your 9-8, 8-8, 7-8. 8-7 team. It's just one of those teams that knows how to go at least 500, and they always know how to sneak into the playoffs. So again, it's an early point in the season. We're only 3 weeks in, or barely about to hit 3 weeks in. So it's a long season. We got a lot of game to play still. Are you good over there?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to catch my breath. That question was exhilarating.
Yeah, I think Jalen Warren is an interesting name to look at in this offense. I also think Calvin Austin is an interesting name to look at in this offense, because Jalen Warren is not getting a lot of attention right now. And he had 14 carries last week against Seattle. He only turned it into 48 yards, but he does get pass catching work as well. He does have 4 receptions for 86 yards in this previous game. So he's been on the very low end of fantasy production, but he hasn't been necessarily non-existent. And I think a lot of people did see that the Steelers drafted Caleb Johnson from Iowa. They thought that everybody thought that he was going to get a lot more work than he has so far, which has basically been non-existent up to this point. So I'm not really worried about Caleb Johnson as of right now. I would be focusing more on Jalen Warren. I would also be focusing on Calvin Austin, because over the course of 2 weeks, Calvin Austin has actually been fairly relevant for Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball. And at certain points in the game, we see him get looks more than DK Metcalf, which is a little bit alarming. I mean, DK Metcalf is your 6'4", $300 or $100 million wide receiver, you know? So you really hate to see him being overshadowed by a 5'10", 185 pound speedy wide receiver. It's just not what you want to see out of this team. But the defensive pickups, they did pick up a lot of defensive weapons. They traded Minkah Fitzpatrick and they got Jalen Ramsey, and everybody thought that was the wrong call. And 2 weeks into the season, Jalen Ramsey has actually looked to be like Jalen Ramsey. I feel like he wasn't looking like himself on the Dolphins the last 2 years, and this season, just over the course of 2 games, I get it, it's only 2 games, but he's really looked good.
He might just be healthy too.
Yeah, he might actually be healthy.
I think for the Steelers, the biggest thing is, I mean, they have a lot of weapons, right? You mentioned DK, you mentioned Calvin Austin, you mentioned their running backs. The biggest weapon that they need to make sure that is performing the best should be Aaron Rodgers, because if he was to go down for whatever reason, for an injury or anything like that, Mason Rudolph is your backup, and I don't think we want to have anything to do with him if you're a Steelers fan. But was he asking, like, is there someone they could go get, like, trade-wise?
I don't know if he was asking, like,
Or,
target
for
fantasy or target for the team.
Right.
Fantasy, like I said, I think Calvin Austin and Jalen Warren are 2 low-end names that you don't – like, if they're rostered and you want them, you're not going to need to trade much for them.
Yeah.
And then if they're on the waiver wire and you have an empty bench spot, even better.
Scoop them up.
Yeah, scoop them up. And even if you want to throw a flyer on Caleb Johnson in deep leagues – he could see more work over the future weeks. So, like, we never know. Jalen Warren could go down with an injury. Caleb Johnson could be the featured back. Maybe Mike Tomlin likes him a little bit more. We don't really know what this backfield is right now. The only thing we do know is that Jalen Warren is the featured back, plain and simple.
Yep.
Kenneth Gainwell is actually getting carries too, which is just weird. I mean, over Caleb Johnson. So I don't know if there's something going on behind the scenes with Caleb Johnson that they don't really like. But
maybe he's just not understanding the blocking scheme.
Maybe not. I mean,
You know what I mean? We're not in the film room.
We're not in the
Who are we to say? But no, I mean, I guess if they're looking to go trade for somebody, maybe they should win a few more games first before they do that.
Yeah, I say you get to like 4-2 maybe.
Yeah, you got to have like a scenario where you're picturing yourself making a run into the playoffs. So,
right.
I mean, as far as their season goes, yeah, they're giving up a lot of points on defense. I think you said they've given up, 2 30-point games?
Well, yeah, 30 points against the Seahawks, and they gave up 30-plus against the Jets.
Yeah, so maybe that comes down, right? Maybe the defense starts to gel a little bit better, or maybe the coaches change the scheme a little. But just focus on winning right now if you're a Patriot or of a Steelers fan, and if you're a Patriots fan.
Okay, well, thanks for taking a shot at the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got to win some games.
In this game,
you guys just lost the division today.
Aaron Rodgers, Drake May, Jalen Warren, Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin, Kayshon Boutte. I was actually corrected by a podcast that I listened to. His name is Kayshon Boutte, right? Mm-hmm. That's how it's pronounced.
Booty.
It's actually pronounced booty.
Yeah, it's
and
booty.
He said it himself that it's pronounced Kayshon Booty.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
phonically, it's booty.
I thought it was Boutte.
No, I mean Boutte sounds like there needs to be an A in there,
or like an accent.
Yeah, there need for
Boutte.
the A.
The acenta.
Yeah,
or
you know what I
acento.
mean. So it is booty.
Okay, well, my bad. Booty wide open.
Yeah, he looks good.
That booty looks good.
Yeah, that booty looks good out there, bro. But anyways,
the Steelers are favored on the road, which is interesting, by 1.5 points. I think Drake May is a absolute start. I think Kayshon Boutte is a start in some leagues, in some situations. DK Metcalf, you're starting. Jalen Warren, you probably are starting, depending on what your lineup looks like. I don't think you're starting Aaron Rodgers in this game. One thing that I do have to note is that Christian Gonzalez is out for the 3rd consecutive game. They just ruled him out right now before we started, so I jotted that down real quick. And I think that plays a big impact on if DK Metcalf gets work in this game, because I see Christian Gonzalez as a top 10 corner in the league.
Right.
I don't know exactly where I would rank him, but I would just say top 10 for overall purposes. And I think he can really lock down a guy like DK Metcalf. But when he's not on the field, it absolutely opens up a window for DK Metcalf to have a big game. So,
well, I mean, if DK is going to have a big game, then Aaron Rodgers has to have a big game.
Right, yeah.
They go
so
hand in hand. So I would actually say I would be looking to start Aaron Rodgers in this matchup, especially considering what you just said about them not having their lockdown corner in this one.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Patriots lose to the Geno Smith-led Raiders, who just threw 3 interceptions last week, and he threw almost 400 yards on the Patriots. And we saw Tua look like 2021 Tua against the Patriots. So maybe this Patriots defense is not as good as everybody expected them to be, and maybe the Steelers can have a field day with them. And I think this could be one of those games where it's a shootout, and we have Aaron Rodgers and Drake May both having to throw for so many yards because both of these defenses have allowed so many points and so many yards over the first 2 weeks of the season. That could also include maybe a breakout game for Stephon Diggs on the Patriots. Over the course of 2 games, his snaps have been going up slowly, and I mean, he is still coming back from an ACL injury. I don't know if people remember that he tore his ACL last year. So he's not just necessarily a washed up wide receiver. He is coming off of an ACL injury, which does take a full year to recover. And he came back in a little less than a year. So to be 31 years of age, to come back from that ACL injury so fast is you just want to load manage him. You don't want to throw him into 100% of the snaps and 80% route running and 60% target share. Like, you don't want that from a 31-year-old coming from an ACL injury. Ramondre Stevenson actually had a good productive day against Miami. He had 11 carries for 54 yards, and he also had some receiving work where he had that long touchdown reception. So we could see Ramondre Stevenson maybe come to life again against this Steelers defense that has just been allowing so much yardage against them.
I got the Steelers in this one.
You got the Steelers?
Yeah, I got the Steelers here.
You know what? I think the Patriots can pull it off at home.
Dude, you're going to say that every single game.
That's fine. I'm a Patriots fan. I'll take the Patriots.
Jets at Bucs.
Jets at the Bucs. The Bucs are favored at home by a whopping 6.5 points.
As they should be.
We have Tyrod Taylor versus Baker Mayfield.
It's Tyrod.
It's Tyrod.
It's Tyrod. Ask him. I'll call him right now.
Call him right now.
All right, give me a second.
You want me to pull up the Baker clip? I think I actually saved it.
No.
Baker came out in
I'm going to call Tyrod.
Huh?
I'm going to call him right now.
Oh, you're going to call him right now?
There it is.
Tyrod.
Oh, his number's not in service.
Shut up.
But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how he plays. First game back in a while. I think the Bucs have a very favorable matchup for their fantasy players. Obviously, you're rolling out the big guys, Bucky Irvin. You're rolling out Emeka Egbuka, and you're rolling out Mike Evans for sure. Chris Godwin is supposed to be making progress too, so he might be back sooner than later. And for the Jets, I don't know what you do with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. Can you trust Tyrod to make their offense competitive and keep them in the game? Or does this turn into a blowout? So that's going to be something to watch.
Yeah, I feel like this could be one of those games that turns into a blowout and Baker takes over and he throws
17 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think he can throw 3 first-half touchdowns against this Jets defense, and maybe he doesn't even play the third quarter or the fourth quarter, depending on how far it gets from them.
I don't know if it gets that bad.
I don't think it does get that bad, but I think it could be a scenario where maybe he comes out for like the last drive.
I can just see that the Jets are really bad offensively, so they have a lot of 3-and-outs, which gives the Bucs a lot more offensive drives.
Yeah, Breece Hall is probably going to be the biggest guy to look at here. We do know that this Bucs front line is really good, so if Breece Hall were to get any production, it could be in the passing game this week. So maybe even look for a Breece Hall receptions line, because if Tyrod Taylor can't chuck it down the field and is just a dump-off merchant and he goes to Breece Hall 4, 5, 6 times in this game, that's really good production in PPR. Garrett Wilson could also see a good workload just because he is the #1 alpha wide receiver on the Jets, and there's really no one else outside of him and Breece Hall on the offensive side. We do know that Justin Fields is out with his concussion, so we don't know if he's going to miss more than 1 week. So I honestly, for real football purposes, I don't like the Jets right now, but for fantasy, this could be good just because Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson could both see a really big target share with Tirada in the lineup. Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, you're starting them.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard if you want to get deep.
If you really need to get deep, yeah, Sterling Shepard. Raiders at Commanders.
Hey, who do you got? Bucs?
Oh, yeah, Bucs.
Everybody's saying Bucs?
Yeah, Bucs.
Okay,
They're actually rolling out their throwback jerseys.
Their old creamsicle ones?
I don't think it's the creamsicle. I think it's the white. The white ones?
The white and red with the black and the brown?
No. The white and orange. Like, it has the creamsicle, but it's not the all creamsicle jersey. It's
no,
white.
Yeah, with the orange accent.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
what I was talking about.
Yeah. So
okay, so we got the Bucs there.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's in consensus here?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
Raiders at Commanders. Commanders are favored at home by 2.5 points.
This one's interesting,
I think this is an ugly game. Geno Smith, Marcus Mariota. Like, what are we, 2016?
This isn't Oregon's Marcus Mariota. This isn't even Tennessee's Marcus Mariota out there. So I do not have a lot of faith in the Commanders this week because of the Mariota situation. And I actually think that they could actually be upset here by the Raiders. That's just a quick preview. On
I think so too. I'm actually going to take the Raiders in this one because I don't think that Marcus Mariota can lead this team to a win. I don't think the Raiders are that much better. I just don't think the Commanders are good enough to win this game with Mariota at the helm.
Yep.
Genty and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, we're going to see a big workload out of Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt for two reasons. One, because you have a backup quarterback in, and you don't want him throwing the ball 35 times this game. He's also not your number one quarterback. And number two, Austin Eckler's out for the season. He's on the IR. He is done. Maybe his career is done. He is a 30-year-old running back. He did tear his Achilles, so that is really, really hard to come back from at that age. Jacoby Myers, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel. I think if we do see any production out of the Commanders, it will be on the ground, and I don't see Terry and Deebo getting a lot of work. But I think if one of the receivers does get work, I honestly think it might be Terry, just because Mariota, your backup quarterback, always goes to your number one read, and your number one read 90% of the time when you have a high-paid wide receiver is that high-paid wide receiver. So Terry McLaurin could see work. I don't see him having a 20-point game, but I could see him getting maybe more than what he's gotten over the last 2 weeks. Brock Bowers, Zach Ertz are your two featured tight ends. I see Zach Ertz as a top 10 tight end this week. I think Mariota might have his safety blanket in Zach Ertz. They're both two veterans. Maybe they could be clicking on the same wavelength in this game. Brock Bowers, we did see a dip in production last week against the Chargers.
Looks hurt.
Yeah, it looks like he wasn't playing full speed with that knee injury.
Yep.
So
watch out.
Yeah, be wary of that.
Yep.
And then I didn't talk about Jacoby Myers, but he should be good to go in this game. He should be a start.
Notable backups for the Commanders here. If anything was to happen to Mariota, you got Josh Johnson at quarterback.
Yikes.
And then second and third string running backs are Jeremy McNichols and Chris Rodriguez Jr. So slim pickings if you're a Commander fan there. Just hope that everybody makes it through the game because you want to stay in contention so that when Jaden comes in, he still has a chance to take them to the playoffs if they can maintain staying competitive in these next few weeks.
Yeah, so I got the Raiders upsetting them.
Raiders for sure in this one.
All right, cool. Texans at the Jags. The Jags are favored at home by 1.5 points, which is a little interesting to me. I do know that the Texans are 0-2. The Jags they're 1-1, huh?
Yeah.
So
they got to win. They got one at least.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. This is an absolute toss-up. I think this is a complete 50-50 game. I can see both teams winning it.
I mean, the Texans probably should have beat the Buccaneers in the last week.
They probably should have, and they should probably beat the Jags this week.
And honestly, Baker Mayfield is probably one of the only quarterbacks that can have a drive like that at the very end to win the touchdown.
Baker's
two
so
game-winning
much fun to
drives in one quarter, by the way, for Baker when they played the Texans. He had 2 game-winning drives in that game.
What do you mean?
Like essentially.
Oh, like the game was over, and then
Right.
the Texans came back, and then they won it.
And then he did it again.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
in one quarter. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of concerning if you're a Texans fan. But
Well, I saw a fun stat, but I know we're off the Bucs, but I did see a fun stat where it was like Baker Mayfield is the first quarterback since Brett Favre in like 1990 something to lead 2 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter in back-to-back games.
yeah, you see, that's what I'm talking about. That's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. So the Texans probably just on the wrong side of luck right there.
Yeah.
They should have fare a little bit better against the Jaguars. However, I don't know how much you can trust Nick Chubb because he only had that like kind of big, what was it, like a 20-yard burst for a touchdown?
Yeah, it was a 20-yard burst. That's really all it was.
So watch out for that. And then, I mean, Nico Collins does get targeted, but CJ Stroud he's kind of inaccurate sometimes.
Yeah, we didn't see a great game from CJ Stroud last week. He did miss a couple of open looks, and I know that everybody's been like, oh, well, it's the offensive line. It's the offensive line. And I have been one of those people too, but last week I did go back and watch a little bit of the game, and I did see that he completely just ignored open targets at certain points in the game. So it's a little alarming if you're a Texans fan, if you're a CJ Stroud owner, which I don't think anyone's really keeping CJ Stroud in fantasy right now just because he has not been very productive. Unless you're in a 2 QB league and you're in a 12-man league, then obviously he's rostered. But in a 1 QB league, 12-team league, 10-team league, he's probably not rostered unless you're just a really big Texans fan. Nick Chubb, like you said, did have that one breakout, and that was really it. So I am concerned of Nick Chubb in this game. And Nico Collins only saw 3 receptions for 52 yards. He started the game out with that one long 30-yard reception. for a touchdown, and then really only saw nothing the rest of the game. He did have 9 targets. He was going up against a good Buccaneers defense, so I guess maybe it's just the matchup, but when you have an alpha wide receiver like that and everybody's taking him as high as the first round in their fantasy draft, you want to see more than that. Same thing on the other side with Brian Thomas Jr. He has just not been productive, and Travis Hunter has actually been taking a lot of his targets.
It's almost like you could put Nico Collins, Brian Thomas Jr., and Keon Coleman in that same little group.
Yeah, and it's weird to say because Keon Coleman probably wasn't even drafted in the first 10 rounds.
Yeah.
While these 2 guys are drafted in back-to-back positions in the first round.
Right. But what I mean by that is just like your number 1 receivers that are just not having a good season so far.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Especially with a quarterback like Josh Allen. But anyways, Travis Etienne, I like him in this game. I think his workload needs to go up because he still is a very, very skilled running back. Whether they need him in the passing game or in the running game, that guy can move, and he's very physical when he runs the ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to this a little bit early in the schedule, but I think Travis Hunter is going to be a very good start this week. And you might call me crazy, but Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be lined up with Derek Stingley on the other side. Derek Stingley's top 10 at his position in the league. I know that for a fact. And he's definitely paid like it too, and he definitely plays like it. So if Trevor Lawrence needs a safety blanket, it's going to be Travis Hunter in this game.
And I'm just saying that like the Jags, I would just take Trevor over CJ Stroud, and that I would take Etienne over Chubb. So just based on those 2 skill positions, that's why I like them to win this game.
Yeah.
But you could also get away with rolling out Dalton Schultz if you have to again. I still think he's viable. And the Texans will be competitive. I just don't think they have enough to win this game.
I think they win it. I think they win it on the road.
So you got the Texans in this one?
I got the Texans.
Wow.
I think it's because the Texans, I believe, are a good team on the defensive side of the ball.
I feel like we always say that about them, though.
I don't really think. I mean, they just know how to draft defense.
I mean, they know how to make the playoffs barely.
But I mean, it's an easy division to win.
Yeah. So I mean, you're not saying much, but anyways, I got the Jags. Trevor Lawrence, I trust you with that beautiful blonde hair.
All right, give me the Texans on the road. Rams at the Eagles is our next game. The Eagles are favored by 3.5 points. Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts is the featured quarterback matchup. I don't like Jalen Hurts in fantasy right now. I really want to stay away from him, and I really want to say don't start him, but it's hard not to.
I know, but he does. It's just he doesn't throw the ball that much.
No, I know. And all of his production comes in the run.
Ground.
Yeah, it's on the ground. He does it with his legs. And that's not what I want out of my quarterback. I will get into my quarterback later because I don't like it. But
yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Kyren Williams, Saquon Barkley, both must starts in this series.
Absolute must starts. I think, you know what, though? Don't expect a big game out of either one of them. Just because both defenses, I think, are very good right now. They're very hot to start the season. I think
I want to say, sorry for cutting you off. I just want to say both of them probably end up in the end zone.
You think so?
Yeah, at least somehow. Okay. You know what I mean? like Saquon Jalen really fucking hurts Saquon in the red zone.
Yeah.
But I do think he's talented enough to get into the end zone. And then Kyren, like when they really want to run the ball, they can. And so it's just a matter of them being in a position where they're going to need to run it a little bit to help establish the passing game for Stafford and Puka and Adams.
Yeah. Well, you're already dipping into that. So Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Devonta Smith, and A.J. Brown are all the featured wide receivers. Is this the game where we finally see an A.J. Brown game? Is this the game where Jalen Hurts is going to have to throw the ball and not use his legs because of this front that the Rams have, and he might not be able to escape the pocket every time?
That's like the thing he's best at, though.
I know. But
like he's just so elusive, and so...
I mean, A.J. Brown is bound to have at least 5 good games in this season. Like, right. He is a very... I don't like him personally, but he's a very talented wide receiver. Like, plain and simple. I can't deny the facts that A.J. Brown is an extremely talented wide receiver. The problem is Jalen Hurts is your quarterback.
Yeah. Devontae Smith, too. I'm probably not starting him in this game. Yeah. Even still, I mean... It's just so hard to have confidence in putting them into your starting lineup. And we talked about it ad nauseum already about the Jalen situation. So just be careful if you're one of their owners. You can roll out A.J. Brown. I guess that's probably the only wide receiver for the Eagles I'd feel comfortable starting. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Hurts kind of makes more bounds in the passing games than he has in the past few weeks.
You think Matthew Stafford might have a big game?
I think they'll throw the ball around. So yeah, Stafford is I feel like he's reliable in a sense.
I think he is reliable too.
And
He's
then-
not your exciting pick, but he's reliable.
And he's not 2015 Matthew Stafford, but I mean he's still very viable, and he's still gonna. I mean, I just trust him to throw the ball way more and consistent and accurately more than Jalen Hurts.
So you got the Rams in this game?
I do got the Rams because I can never pick the Eagles.
Okay, I have the Rams in this game too.
That's just like a rule of mine, life rule.
We
You know what I
haven't
mean?
picked the Eagles so far.
I'm
this
never
year.
picking the Eagles.
We've
If I
picked-
pick the Eagles, something's wrong.
We've picked the Cowboys week 1 against the Eagles. We've
Yeah.
picked the Chiefs week 2 against the Eagles, and now we have the Rams against the
Yeah,
Eagles.
I'm
week
going every week against the Eagles.
We're gonna go 0-17 against the Eagles.
telling you right now.
And then the one week we pick the Eagles is the week they're gonna lose.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. All right, Colts and Titans.
Colts are favored at the Titans by 4.5 points. Indiana Jones is his new nickname. That's what everybody's calling him on social media. Daniel Jones versus Cam Ward, the rookie. And Cam Ward has not looked bad, if I'm being completely honest. I went back and looked at the game that he played against the Rams, and he actually looked very good. I think he looked really good.
I like to call him Peyton Daniel Manning Jones.
Oh my God.
The Manning Jones is hyphenated, by the way.
Oh, Manning
Yeah,
Jones?
Manning Jones, but it's
Okay.
Peyton Daniel.
That should be his nickname then, Manning Jones.
Mhm, I like it.
Okay, I like
He
it.
looks good out there, man.
He does. And it scares me. I think it scares me how good he looks because
I'm just glad he's not doing this with the Giants.
yeah, so far this reminds me of last year's Derek Carr with the Saints.
Right.
Derek Carr and the Saints started 2-0. Everybody was like, these guys are real contenders this year.
They're back.
Derek Carr has it down. They're back. This is the old Saints that we all remember. And they went crashing down. Derek Carr ended up retiring. Alvin Kamara left the season. Chris Olave was hurt. Rashid Shaheed was hurt. They fired their head coach. I mean, everything went south after week 2. It was just so bad. And I think they started the year with the Cowboys and someone else, and they put up like 30-plus points in both games.
Yep.
So we might be seeing a repeat, but I don't know. I think Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, Tyler Warren, I think this is a much more all-around talented team. On the defensive side of the ball, too, I think they have way more talent than the Saints have in the last, 5 years? So I think the Colts are definitely different. I think they're an outlier team that nobody expected. And I think they were just a Daniel Jones away from maybe making the playoffs this year.
They could also clinch their division week 3.
I think so too. If they go 3-0 and the Texans go 0-3, we got something to look forward to.
Well, then the Titans would also be 0-3 if they lose.
Yeah, that's right. Wow, that's a sad
so they
division.
just clinched right
They
there.
just clinched.
Cam Ward up. I do like to watch him play just because I think he has potential. I think he just needs, a little bit more time, and he kind of needs the players around him to kind of pick up their level. But interesting to see how he'll do in this game. I still am rolling Tony Pollard out there too.
Totally Pollard.
Tony Pollard, sorry. If he's one of your running back options, I would feel good putting him in this one. And then
I feel like
for the
Tony-
Colts, it's almost everybody else you have to start. The regulars, you're starting them. You're not even asking questions.
I feel like Tony Pollard has to be one of the most boring starts in fantasy right now. He's a good running back. He really is. But like we've said on this podcast, just because you're a good football player in real life does not mean you're a good fantasy player, and vice versa. Just because you're a good fantasy player does not always mean that you're a good real life player. And I think Tony Pollard is one of those cases where he's a very good running back and he's not very good for fantasy.
Yep.
He's one of those boring guys that's going to get you 17 carries for 95 yards a week, 85 yards a week, 2 receptions and 12 yards and no touchdowns because this Titans offense cannot move the ball.
Right.
And you're going to be disappointed every single week, but you got to roll him out because he's your floor guy. He's the guy that's going to get you 12, 14, 16 points a game, and it's not going to look pretty when it happens. Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, Alec Iomanor, and Calvin Ridley are the featured wide receivers. I think Michael Pittman has a good game, and I think Alec Iomanor has another decent game. I don't know. I think if they move the ball a little bit, I think Alec can see the end zone this week. And I think maybe Tony Pollard could see it too. I think this is the first touchdown that we get out of Tony.
Unless these guys play the defense the way they did against Miami.
That's true.
But I still think that just all around, the Titans should be a more competitive team than the Dolphins.
Yeah, and for the Titans to actually put up points against this Rams defense that we have seen, I mean, they're very good. When you watch them play, they're very good. They lock down. They know how to contain the pocket. They know how to roll rushers out and really close that edge in on the passer. And I don't know if they can do that against the Colts. I mean, Titans. Oh, I don't know. This is a risky one. I don't know. I can absolutely see Daniel Jones coming out here on the road. This is his first road game as a Colt, and he just has a dud of a game. I think it's somewhat possible that the Titans can either keep it very, very close at the end or actually win this game.
I still think they cover the spread, though.
You think they cover?
Yeah, I think they win, and maybe not by a lot, but they probably win by a touchdown, I would say.
Okay. I'm calling an upset this week.
Whoa. Cam Ward gets a dub?
I'm calling an upset.
would
I
love
almost
to see
called
that.
it. I almost called it against the Saints with the 49ers.
Okay.
I'm calling it this week like an almost
it.
upset, you
Just
know?
fucking call it.
I'm calling it.
Don't be
I'm calling
afraid.
it. Titans,
Sometimes you got to call things.
okay, well, this is my upset of the week. Titans upset the Colts at home.
Someone write that down, please.
Write that down, write that
Can
down,
you
write that down.
Can you write that down?
Hey, bud, can you write that down?
Bud, please. Pen and paper right there. Thank you.
Tyler Warren, I think he's a dog.
Yeah,
He's
good.
an absolute dog. He's just so good.
Don't have to worry about that guy.
Yeah, Bengals at the... Actually, wait, you know what? Before we move on, do you like all 4 wide receivers in this game, or do you like 2 or just one of them? We got Michael
I don't like
Pittman.
Calvin Ridley, that's for sure.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley's looked bad over 2 games. And you know what? Cam Ward doesn't target him, really.
I mean, a lot of that is probably the defense, right? Because, like, when you're lining up to play Tennessee, like, who are you really going to focus on skill position-wise?
Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley.
Right?
And
So,
Nichols.
like, especially in the secondary, you're probably going to shade coverage, roll coverage his way. So, I mean, he probably does look at him, but he probably sees right away that it's covered, and he actually goes through his progression. So, I just don't think that this offense is potent enough to support that many fantasy players. So, if you want to stay on the safe side, just roll out Tony Pollard, really. I mean, you could... I cannot pronounce this guy's name.
Alec
Ayomanor.
Just call him Alec.
Okay, I'll call him E-Dog. But yeah, I mean, until we see a little bit more from him, I mean, you can't be 100% confident in starting him. But hey, if you like the matchup and you don't have any other better options, there you go. Just drop the lighter.
We should call him EA, and then our drop should be "It's in the game."
It's in the game.
Dude, that would be cool.
sick.
If he gets in the end zone, we just say EA. I don't know if that would be
I mean,
copyrighted.
we need him to be a little bit better than that.
Yeah, I mean, he has to get more than like 2 targets a game. Next game is the Bengals at the Vikings. Vikings are favored at home by 2.5 points. We got the matchup of the backups. We got Jake Browning, Carson Wentz, Chase Brown, Jordan Mason is the running backs, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. This is one of those exciting games when you have starters, and this is not one of the games where we have starters.
This is what we call the backup bowl.
The backup bowl?
Yeah.
The matchup of backups. We
Yeah,
got
the Bengals are playing in a lot of these bowl games already.
we got the Joe Bowl, we got the backup bowl.
Yeah. Another idea for a drop that I just came up with was, have you seen Dumb and Dumber?
I have, but I'm gonna be honest. I was really young when I watched it.
There's a part that like everybody knows from Dumb and Dumber where they're cruising down the interstate and they see a group of people hitchhiking and they're like, look, they need a ride, so they go pick them up. So maybe that could be like a waiver.
Like a waiver wire?
Yeah,
Pick 'em up.
Pick them up. Just a thought.
Hey, that would be cool. I like that.
Yeah, Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning. I never thought in 1,000 years I would see this matchup in 2025, so that should be interesting. I do think that Carson Wentz is going to be an issue for the Vikings here, so I'm shading Justin Jefferson a little.
Issue as in good or bad?
No, issues are bad.
Oh, okay.
Issues, like, if you have an issue, it's a bad thing. It's not like an issue like, oh, I have an issue, I just want $1 million.
Let me give you this scenario. We have JJ McCarthy out for 2 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. We know that already. He will be out for at least 2 to 4 weeks, which means we could not see him until week 6 again, right? But let's say Carson Wentz comes in. He's the veteran quarterback. He knows his way around an offense or two. He throws 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, has a phenomenal game, and Justin Jefferson is the wide receiver 1 on the week. Jordan Mason even finds the end zone. They put up 28 points on the Bengals because they don't have a great defense. What do you do? Like, let's say he comes out and has this big game.
Like as a team?
As a team, as a fantasy person?
Well,
like,
I mean, as a fantasy guy, if you're really into the Vikings offense and you really believe that Carson Wentz will be good in it, then you can start him. That's on you. You know what I mean? But as far as the organization, I mean, you still have to you still need to see Carson Wentz do it more than 1 week. You know what I mean? Before you make a quarterback switch, because JJ McCarthy, he hasn't been the best, but he hasn't been the worst. And so,
I mean, listen, he's my guy, but he's looked really bad.
And I told you he was going to look that way. But what I'm saying is, if you bench him now like that, you probably really shatter the guy's confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it all depends on how Wentz performs. If he's lights out and he's your father's Carson Wentz, then that's a different story.
More like big brothers.
Or maybe like your older uncle. You know
No,
what I mean?
like
he's
your
not
big
like
brothers. It was like 6 years ago that we saw him have his MVP year.
yeah, maybe like your
Shit, actually, maybe like a decade ago.
no, that's what I'm saying. Maybe like he is your uncle, like your twice removed uncle, but he's not
Yeah.
even that much older than you. But somehow he's your uncle. You're like, what?
Yeah, maybe your uncle's
Yeah, yeah.
Vikings or your uncle's Carson Wentz.
Yeah. So Chase Brown, though, I do think
I think he
he's
has a better
due.
game.
I think he's due.
He is due, absolutely.
Right.
The only problem, it's the Vikings defense. And I know that the Vikings defense is not, top 3 in the league, but they are still very good.
Right.
They have a good front. They also have a good secondary. So I don't know how it's going to look in this game. I'm going to be honest. This is one of those games where I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to call.
It's really tough. I mean, this is the first full game we see out of Jake Browning this season. This is the first full game we see out of Carson Wentz, and God knows how long. I don't know when the last time he started a full game.
He started some point for the Commanders at one point. And
Commanders?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he was with them.
No.
I'm pretty sure he was.
No.
I could be wrong.
You're so wrong.
I mean,
think
he
the
was
last
with
team
the
he was
Eagles.
Eagles,
he
Rams.
was with the Rams. I think he was with the Colts for a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to say he was with the Commanders. I could be wrong.
You know what? I think he did start last year because I saw a little thing on Instagram where it was like he's the first quarterback in history to start for 6 different teams in 6 straight years.
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. He's one of those guys where you're amazed he's on another NFL roster.
You're
But-
just amazed he's on.
But I mean,
roster.
like credit to him, right? I mean,
Oh, wow,
obviously
he was with Washington.
I told you, dude. You're making me doubt my fucking
So
NFL knowledge and
he
shit.
played 12 games for Philly in 2020. He played 17 games for Indy in 2021.
Okay.
He played 8 games for Washington in 2022. He played 2 games for the Rams in 23.
Okay.
And then he played in 3 games for Kansas City in 24. But he
totally
probably just
forgot
came in
about
for
that.
a couple snaps
He
because
probably
he only
came in
has-
to do a quarterback knee.
Well, no, because he
Just
has
kidding.
19 attempts, and I think it was that one game where I think it was the Chiefs and they played the Bucs and Patrick Mahomes had like a knee injury or a hip injury or something like
Right.
that. So
yeah.
we saw him last year with Kansas City.
Jamar Chase, you should still be fine starting him, and like I said, lower the expectations for Justin Jefferson. You're still starting him, but he may not hit wide receiver 1 status this week.
Yeah, it's rough because we're getting to the point of the season where we're waiting for breakouts to happen because we know that they're going to come. It's just like, how long do we have to wait around until we start asking the question of, okay, if Justin Jefferson is only getting 8.8 fantasy points a week, and we have somebody over here like Debo Samuel getting 17 points a week, like, are we starting Debo over Justin Jefferson?
That's a decision every manager is going to have to make for themselves because they're going to have to deal with the consequences,
Yeah,
or maybe not the consequences, the
benefits.
benefits. Yeah.
Falcons at the Panthers.
Oh, who do you got? Who do you got? I got the Bengals here.
Oh, yeah, give me the Bengals. Vikings, I don't believe in their offense right now, so
Yeah.
give me the Bengals. Falcons at the Panthers is our next game. Falcons are favored on the road by 5.5 points. Michael Penix Jr. and Bryce Young are duking it out once again. The last time we saw these two compete in a game, it was actually a very electric game. I don't know if you remember that. I think it went into overtime and it was like 30-35. If you want to give me a second, I'll look that up.
Okay. So in this game, you're obviously Bijan, I think, is ranked number 1 in most consensus NFL Week 3 running back rankings because of the matchup here. So that's an easy start right there. You're probably still rolling out Drake London. You're also going to roll out Kyle Pitts in this one. So that's everybody you're looking for on the Falcons side. I would even maybe consider starting Michael Penix if I don't have a better quarterback option here because he does throw the ball. He does look pretty decent at it. So he's not the worst play, I would say. You're shading pretty much almost everybody from the Panthers, I think. I don't know. You could probably talk me into maybe Chuba Hubbard, but other than that, the Panthers have not looked like a very good team. And I do not see anything that will show that they're going to turn it around this week.
Yeah, so this was the second to last game last year. I don't know
wasn't
if
it
I'm
like a
looking at
shootout or something?
It was a big
Yeah,
shootout.
yeah, yeah.
So let me read you the stat lines for these.
Start
This
with Penix.
No, this isn't the right game, is it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Just kidding. I have no idea.
No, yeah, it was. Okay, so Michael Penix was 21 for 38, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Okay.
Bijan Robinson had 28 carries for 170 rushing yards
Good
and
God.
2 touchdowns.
28 carries. That's
Drake London had 10 receptions for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns.
okay.
Okay. Bryce Young had 25 of 34 for 3 passing touchdowns, no turnovers. Miles Sanders was the rushing leader in this game for Carolina, 17 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Coker was the leading receiver with 7 receptions for only 62 yards. So Bryce Young spread the ball a lot in that game.
Right. Can he do it again, though?
Can he do it again? We did see Hunter Renfrow get a lot of work last week, which is the most Hunter Renfrow thing to ever do.
It sounds about white.
Sounds about white. You haven't said that in a while.
Well, we haven't had anything white to talk about. If you think about it. Brock Bowers has been hurt. Just kidding.
Yeah, that sounds about white. Dude, I think the smoke is getting to me.
You're all right, dude. Just breathe in and breathe out.
No, I can't breathe
You know
in.
what I
I have
mean?
to keep breathing out.
I want you to breathe in. That's a
Dude,
good
this
thing.
room is foggy. I don't know what it looks like on the camera. I'm scared. I'm sorry if it's foggy.
I got
but
the Falcons here, obviously, right?
yeah, you have to just because of, how bad the Panthers' offense and defense has been. The only thing is I really want to fade Drake London this week just because he has not had a good game up until this point.
Yeah, but you just read he had 10 receptions last time.
But he's going up against J.C. Horn.
I think he's going to be fine.
And I think J.C. Horn's a pretty good corner.
Well, I think Penix is a little better than he was last year.
I beg to differ. I
We'll
feel like he
see.
had a really small sample size last year, and he looked really good.
Right, but
compared to
this is one of the games he looked good in against the Panthers. Division rival, he's going to tear that ass up.
Bijan is for sure going to have a great game.
Yeah, Bijan's going to go off.
He's for sure going to have a good game. I have him in the end zone, and I have him going for like 100 plus yards.
Yep.
Total scrimmage.
Yep.
Chuba Hubbard is fine in this game. I think Tet McMillan is just going to get peppered with targets, so he's an absolute start. Maybe not for like the upside in real life production, but I can see him getting like 12 targets in this game and 8 receptions for like 92 yards and maybe see the end zone depending on how this offense looks. But I think it'll be a lot of garbage time too. Kyle Pitts, Jatavion Sanders are your tight ends in this game. Kyle Pitts has been serviceable up until this point. Nothing exciting and nothing really, disappointing either.
Yeah, but that's all you can ask for when it comes to the tight end position.
Yeah, so he's been serviceable. You can start him. I wouldn't be starting Jatavion Sanders, but I think Jatavion Sanders could maybe be one of those guys that steps up in this offense just because they need someone to step up. And we saw Hunter Renfrow last week, but Hunter Renfrow, he's older. I don't know how long he can keep that up, so maybe Jatavion Sanders comes back.
Maybe Bryce Young needs to step up. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, he's looked pretty bad.
I heard you got a jersey of his.
You know what? I should, just to spite you.
You should.
Packers at the Browns is our next game. Packers are favored on the road by 7.5 points.
That's crazy.
Good God.
That's a lot.
No, that is a lot. Jordan Love versus Joe Flacco. We got the J Bowl, not the Joe Bowl.
Yeah, we always have a type of bowl around here. You know what I mean? Some sort of bowl's being passed around. That's all I'm saying.
Jesus Christ. Josh Jacobs and Quinshon Judkins are the featured backs. Before we get into the wide receivers, because that's already a messy room as it is,
Right.
Josh Jacobs is a very good running back. We all know that.
Yes.
But the Browns have shut down their last 2 running backs that they have gone up against. And I don't know if that happens to Josh Jacobs. They only allowed like 30 rushing yards to Derrick Henry, and they only allowed 40 rushing yards to Chase Brown. Now, Chase Brown did find the end zone in that week 1 game. Derrick Henry did not. Do we see this defense get exploited by Josh Jacobs, or are they for real? And does Josh Jacobs not have a good game? Are you fading Josh Jacobs this week?
No, you can't fade him right here because if he does
Because
have
he
a good
doesn't get
game,
passing work.
No, I know, but I mean, like he scores a touchdown every single game he ever plays in, ever.
I mean, yeah.
So I mean, just you said it earlier with Tony Pollard, where he's kind of like your floor running back.
Right.
That's kind of what Josh Jacobs is going to be in this game. He's going to get you to a certain points total, but he may not go like to his regular production, just depending on how this game goes. But I do think since the
that was a big
Packers,
but.
yeah, the Packers love to pass the ball. Jordan Love loves to fucking spread the love around. You get it?
Yeah.
So I do think that will wear down the Browns' ability to put so much pressure on the run game, because then once, you have to keen in on making sure that you're covering all these wide receivers that the Packers have, that can open up some space for Josh Jacobs between the tackles.
Okay, and then on the other side of the ball, Quinshon Judkins absolutely took over this backfield the second he got into the starting lineup. He had 10 carries for 61 yards on a Baltimore Ravens defense, which is just really good. And he did get a little bit of pass work, and he got three receptions for 10 yards, which isn't much in the yards category, but 3 receptions in PPR is a big difference. So, I mean, that's 4 points just in the receiving game on top of his 6.1 that he had on the ground. So he had a 10.1 fantasy game day. If you started him, great. If you didn't, you're not really too sad about it. But are you starting him against this Packers defense that, again, has just been really good against the run? They've also been very good against the pass. So is this one of those games where they are just absolutely shut down on the offensive side of the ball, or do they actually get production in? And do you want to start Quinshon Judkins?
I would actually fade him this week.
You're fading him this week?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you looked how they played against the Commanders on that Thursday night game, I think the Commanders running back Krosky Merritt had maybe like 32 yards rushing.
I think he had less
than that.
I think we talked about it in Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, Austin Eckler, and Jaden Daniels. They all had 17 yards.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to get at is if this game gets away from the Browns early, like if the Packers go up, they score 2 touchdowns early, they may not be able to afford to run him the way they want to.
Okay.
So just for this matchup, I mean, going forward, he's probably going to be very, very productive for the Browns. But I mean, this is just a tough matchup to really cement your position in this backfield.
Gotcha. And then on the wide receivers, we got Romeo Doubs, Dontavion Wicks are the 2 featured wide receivers. I mean, you could throw in Matthew Golden there. We just haven't seen much out of Golden. And then Jerry Jeudy's really the only wide receiver in the Browns room that you really want to be looking for. Tucker Kraft did come down with a knee injury. I don't know if we talked about that last episode, but he was very limited in practice. I don't even think he practiced one of the days, and he got hurt in practice. The injury happened in practice, which is just not what you like to see. You hate
He said he was good to go, though.
Did he? I didn't see that.
That's what he said. But they all say that. They're not going to say the agent's telling them, dude, you better go out there.
Yeah, they're media trained for a reason. Harold Fannin Jr. and David Njoku are the 2 tight ends for the Browns. And it's weird to say that you have 2 fantasy relevant and even real life relevant tight ends in a single offense, because sometimes we don't even see 1 tight end featured. Like the Rams never have a valuable tight end to look for versus the Browns have 2. So it's weird. I love Harold Fannin Jr. He's on one of my dynasty teams. But he is in my taxi squad just because I want to hold on to him. And I think he's going to be the starting tight end next year. I really do think so.
They might benefit if the game gets out of hand, like as opposed to Quinshon Judkins. They could benefit if it turns into a situation where Joe Flacco's throwing the ball 35, 40 times.
Are you starting any of the pass catchers for the Packers aside from Tucker Kraft if he plays?
I like Dontavion Wicks here. If you have Romeo Doubs and you don't have anybody else, I mean, I'm not opposed to plugging him in for this one.
Okay, and then Matthew Golden, you're still sitting.
Yeah, we haven't seen enough out of him.
Okay,
I'm still very, very skeptical about the players that come out of Texas recently, except for Bijan.
Except for Bijan.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers, who?
So Packers easy in this game.
I think the Browns cover the spread. Honestly,
really?
Yeah, it's a big spread.
Oh yeah, that's 8.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
so all they got to do is keep it within the touchdown, and they're good.
Saints at the Seahawks. Seahawks are favored at home by 7.5 points. Again, we see another 8-point spread. Spencer Rattler, Sam Darnold are the ones duking it out. And I don't know. I think this is another one of those scenarios where it's not the quarterback. I think this is just a team thing that is happening with the Saints. And I think Spencer Rattler, I was fading him all of last year, and he's looked very good this year. He had 3 passing touchdowns last week against the 49ers, no turnovers, which you love to see that. And I mean, we say he's more of like a backup, but this kid might actually be their starter for the next year, 2 years, 3 years until they either find someone else or until he breaks out or he gets traded. Like, we don't know what's going to happen with Rattler, but I think he's looked very good. When I watch him play the game, he looks like a very well-composed quarterback. He looks like he can actually break down a defense in real time, not just in the film room like we have seen with a lot of quarterbacks over history. So I don't like Chris Olave in this game. I like Juwan Johnson. I like JSN. And then I think Kenneth Walker is actually pretty good in this game, too.
Would you rather have Spencer Rattler or Bryce Young? Just in terms of he's on your team now.
Like in my fantasy team or real life team?
Just in both scenarios. Like now he's on your team. Look at this. Like which one would you rather have on your team?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I have a few other names I was going to throw in there.
Let me go. You know what? Bryce Young has not looked good. Are we doing this season in a vacuum?
We're just saying right now he's on your team. You're asking too many questions.
Okay, give me Spencer Rattler.
Okay, Spencer Rattler or Michael Penix.
Michael Penix. Oh no.
Hurry up.
Okay, give me Spencer Rattler. Why not?
Spencer Rattler or Cam Ward?
Cam Ward.
Spencer Rattler or Drake May?
Okay, Drake May. Easy.
Drake May. I set you up for that. Drake May.
I have Spencer Rattler over 2 quarterbacks?
Yeah. You have him right where I thought you would have him.
Yeah.
Not on your team.
In terms of No, I see. Listen, I'm a Drake May Glazer. I'm a Patriots fan.
Whoa.
I see Drake May as a top 10 QB. Okay, maybe not top 10, but he's up there. I think he's better than half the league.
All right, Alvin Kamara, guys. Really, I don't have a lot to say about him. He's a wonderful guy.
Again, like we talked about your floor guys. He's one of those guys.
He's another one of those guys too.
He gets a lot of pass catching work. He gets 22 opportunities a game, combined through the air and on the ground. So you start him, you don't think twice about it, and you just leave him in your lineup. You never take him out unless he's injured or on a bye.
So if you have a team where you somehow have a fantasy team, you somehow have Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, who are you starting in this one?
Both.
No, well, I don't think that's a good idea. If to start both of them in this game,
Yes.
what if they just lay an egg? Then you lost.
Unfortunately, I mean, okay.
Then you have 0 to 5 points
if you win
in two positions of your team.
If you took Alvin Kamara and Kenneth Walker both in your drafts, you are starting both of them in this game.
No.
Because Zach Charbonnet's doubtful for this game with a foot injury.
No, that's what I was saying. If you're a Seattle fan, are you starting Walker versus Charbonnet?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was asking. That's
Yeah.
it. I wasn't saying between Kamara and them. I was saying the Seattle backfield.
Okay, I think Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are both very good running backs. I don't think one is really better than the other because they both are good in their respective ways. I think Kenneth Walker's faster, he's more agile, versus Zach Charbonnet, he's more of your bruiser. He'll run through the tackles, he'll run through the guards, and he's not afraid to get hit. Versus Kenneth Walker, he'll beat you on the outside and he'll break out for 22 miles an hour and he'll go 60 yards to the house. So I think they're both good in their respective ways. And I would hate to see the Saints break this tandem up for real life purposes, because I think it's a great tandem to have. You have your speedy guy, you have your bruiser, just like the Lions have with Monty and Gibbs. Right. You have your speeder and your speedy guy, and you have your bruiser. So for fantasy purposes, yes, this does get ugly. We do know that Zach Charbonnet is doubtful for Sunday's game with a foot injury, and
so that clears everything.
Yeah, that just recently popped up like over the past 2 days. So it does clear things up for Kenneth Walker. He is an absolute start in this game if Zach Charbonnet does not play. Like, you start him no matter what. And if he does start and he's the only guy getting carries, he will have a good game. Right. Chris Olave and JSN, you start JSN. Again, he's one of those guys that you start. He is, I think, like leading the league in receiving yards right now, and he has been getting like 12 targets a game, so he's absolutely insane. Another guy that's been getting 12 targets a game is Chris Olave, but he hasn't been doing much with those targets, so I'm fading Chris Olave this week. I'm starting Juwan Johnson. Seahawks are not good against the tight end position, and Juwan Johnson is a very talented breaking out tight end, so I think this is a perfect A plus B situation.
Seattle in this one?
Yeah, I got Seattle.
Do the Saints cover? 7.5.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say they don't cover. I say Seattle wins by like 10 points. Like 20.
I think we've disagreed on almost every game.
That's fine. That's what we want. You can't be agreeing about everything. That'd be boring. No, Broncos and Chargers here.
Broncos at the Chargers. Chargers are favored at home by 2.5 points. This is one of those games. I mean, it's a divisional game, and I'm scared to start a lot of fantasy players in this game. I really am. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's low scoring, you're going to have low production, and the only guy you want to start, Justin Herbert, Bo Nix, end of list. Because I don't know who's going to be getting the touchdown in this game. I don't know if it's going to be J.K. Dobbins. I don't know if it's going to be Omarion Hampton. I don't know if it's going to be Najee, Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, Quentin Johnston, Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen. There's too many names in this game to where I feel comfortable even starting any of these guys. And obviously you are going to be starting Quentin Johnston after what he's been doing over the last 2 weeks. You absolutely start Ladd McConkey because he's still getting those short area routes. He'll end the game with six receptions for like 58 yards or 67 yards. So he's your floor guy. With a touchdown, he goes up to like 20 points. Keenan Allen, again, he's also been a very big red zone monster over the last 2 weeks, and he's one of those guys that just clicks with Justin Herbert. Herbert's very comfortable throwing him the ball. He's your go-to veteran that you want the ball in his hands in the red zone. J.K. Dobbins is your featured back. I'm no longer talking about R.J. Harvey until he proves something. And I think it's getting to the point where Omarion Hampton shouldn't be talked about or as much as he has been, because Najee
As
Harris.
much as you talked about him.
Yeah, and I'll
Not
own
all
up.
of us. Don't put that on all of us.
No, there's a lot of people.
No, yeah, but don't put me in there.
Okay, well, I won't put you
I
in there.
wasn't
but
invited to that
I'll be
party.
talking about everybody in the fantasy community, aside from you, because
Yeah.
you were not in on him. You were not in on him from the get go. Not because he's a bad player, but just because it's a rookie and you don't like rookies a lot.
Yes.
I do like rookies. I like the upside that they can bring, and I do understand that not all of them are going to be hot out the gates. It's only week 2. It will get better. It's just a matter of it's not a matter of if it gets better. It's a matter of when it gets better. Najee Harris looked better in the exact same offense than Omari and Hampton did. So he needs a little bit more time to gel with this offense. He needs to learn his offensive line. He needs to learn schemes. He needs to learn how to move around the offense rather than, try to just run right through it. Cortland Sutton has not been the featured wide receiver over the last 2 weeks. He was a little bit in week 1. He did get a good fantasy day because he did have that touchdown. It was against the Titans, so it wasn't anything, challenging. But in the second game when they played the Colts, Troy Franklin was the featured wide receiver. I think he had like 70 yards and a touchdown. So he was Bo Nix's go-to guy. So, I mean, you have 1 week of Cortland Sutton, you have 1 week of Troy Franklin. Which one do you get this week? And I think you get Troy Franklin this week again. I think Cortland Sutton is going to be shadowed by, I forgot who their corner is in LA. I forgot his name, but their corner is going to be shadowing Cortland Sutton. Like you shadow your number 1, so you go to your number 2 when your number 1 is covered. Quentin Johnston, I think, could catch another touchdown in this game. I think he might be the guy that gets shadowed by Pat Surtain. So we don't know who's going to get shadowed by Pat Surtain. Is it going to be Ladd? Is it going to be Keenan Allen, your big 6'4" guy? Or is it going to be Quentin Johnston, your other big 6'2", 6'4" guy? Or is it going to be Ladd McConkey, where he's the speedster and he goes over the middle? Like, we don't know. There's 3 threats in this offense, and they could all get a lot of production, but it's not a matter... or I don't feel comfortable starting all 3. That's me personally.
The one I have the most confidence in would be Quentin Johnston, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I might have to agree with you on that.
And then between Troy Franklin and Cortland Sutton, I think Cortland Sutton has a good game this one.
Okay, so you want to take a bet who gets more fantasy points this game?
I'll take Cortland.
I'll take Troy.
Okay, mark that down. Somebody write that down.
Write that down.
I got the Chargers winning this one though.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah,
just
they're
so
at
that's
home.
on the
They're at
record,
home.
yeah. Bo Nix, did we maybe sound the appraisal alarm a little too high on this guy?
Maybe. No,
Maybe.
you know what? He looked good week 2.
Well,
and
we'll
week
see.
2, I think, was a better defense than the Titans.
I think this will be more of a telltale of where he's really at against the Chargers.
Yeah, because I think the Chargers have a pretty good defense this year.
So next game, Cowboys Bears. That's America's game of the week.
We got Cowboys favored on the road in Chicago by 1.5 points. I think they cover. I think they win this game. That's me right off the bat. I think Dallas
scared
wins.
of this one. I'm scared.
You think this is a sneaky game where the Bears win?
Maybe that could possibly happen.
So who do you have right off the bat?
Well, I
If we're
mean,
talking
obviously,
about
I'm going to go with the Cowboys, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears have a big game here. You know what I mean? I could absolutely see Rome Aduzie having himself a fucking game.
What did you say?
Rome Adunze. I can't pronounce his name.
Adunze.
Yeah.
You said Oduzie.
I got him actually probably having a monstrous game, similar to what Malik Neighbors did in week 2. And I also think DeAndre Swift will also be able to run laps on this Cowboys defense. So other than that, on the Cowboys side, I feel good about Javonte Williams. I'm definitely starting him. You got to roll out CD Lamb. You got to trust that Pickens finds the end zone. DJ Moore would also probably get some good targets here. So other than that, Jake Ferguson too, Cole Kmet, Loveland. You're starting all these guys. This is going to be a high-scoring game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it'll be a high-scoring game too. I think they both go into the 20s and maybe even the 30s.
This is going to hit the 30s, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right
Prescott and Caleb. I'm starting everybody in this game.
Yeah,
I don't not like anybody in this game.
I like that for fantasy. Like, I like this game for fantasy purposes, but as a Cowboys fan, I do not like this game because this is a game where we could get seriously exposed.
The only thing that I am worried about in fantasy and real life purposes is that DeAndre Swift did pop up with a hamstring injury, and they did say, quote, that he is at high risk of injury, which is very alarming. That means Kyle Monangai could be getting this backfield if DeAndre Swift were to go down with a hamstring injury the same way that Aaron Jones did. And Aaron Jones went on the IR. A lot of times when guys come up with hamstring injuries, we saw George Kittle already go on the IR earlier this season, and now we saw Aaron Jones go on the IR for the exact same hamstring injury. So if DeAndre Swift ends up with a really bad hamstring injury, he goes on IR. Kyle Monangai could be a guy to look for. So make sure you either stash him this week before games start and before waivers clear. And if he gets hurt and now, 3 million people are going for Kyle Monangai because everybody that had DeAndre Swift doesn't have anyone else. So roster him now in case you have, or if you have a free bench spot and if you're a DeAndre Swift manager, stash him. You never know. Worst case scenario, this guy goes down even in the first quarter and you don't play Kyle Monangai for the rest of the game. You have him for next week and he will automatically be put as your RB1 in this offense. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore. You're starting all of them. You're starting Jake Ferguson. I'm staying away from the Bears tight ends for now just because we have not seen much out of them and we've seen split work. They're not getting a lot of work as it is, and to split it into two separate tight ends, you don't like to see that. So I'm starting all of these guys. I have all of these guys like top 24 this week.
Yeah, it's just based on the matchup, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Dallas has not shown that they can continuously stop a defense, or stop an offense. They've let the teams like the Eagles and the Giants, they let them really have their way with what they wanted to do offensively. And I do think that Kalen Williams and the Bears will follow that similar game script, which will eventually lead to a shootout. But that's good news, like I said, for fantasy purposes, not necessarily if you're a Cowboys fan.
Next game is the Cardinals at the 49ers. 49ers are favored at home by 2.5 points. Kyler Murray, Mac Jones, James Conner, Trey Benson, and CMC are your backfields. I think Kyler Murray has a big game. I think he always has a big game against the 49ers. I don't know if they win. I think I'm still taking the 49ers to win because I think they're a better all-around team.
Yep.
But I think Kyler Murray has a big game this week. I think he's one of my starts of the week as well. Just because I was looking back at the history of when he plays the 49ers, and he, for some reason, no matter how good the 49ers are, he always has a good game against them.
Right.
On the ground and through the air. So I think Kyler Murray you're starting. I think I'm sitting James Conner this week. I don't like the matchup.
I'm sitting James Conner actually in one league as well, but it's because of the other options that I have.
Who are your other options?
The other options are Kenneth Walker.
Okay,
You know what I mean? So I got to start him, and then Christian McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So and then Javonte Williams.
Oh yeah. You don't want to sit or you don't want to start James.
Yeah.
Conner.
So I've been a big James Conner fan. I just really like him as a player. But I do think he is kind of slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
And Trey Benson is also, he's
creeping.
He's very good too. Like you can't ignore how good he is. So that's also why the coaching staff is more they feel more comfortable letting him come in and take some snaps away. So Ricky Pearsall, you're also going to roll him out there for sure. And Trey McBride also should have a big game if Kyler has a big game.
Yeah. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. could have a good game too. I'm not going to say he's going to, but I think the possibility is absolutely there. Again, the 49ers, Kyler Murray has a big game. If Kyler Murray has a big game, either Trey McBride or Marvin Harrison Jr. or even both have big games. So
James Conner finds the end zone 4 times somehow.
Dude, I know we're going to be so wrong, and Marvin Harrison's going to have one
happen.
reception for 18 yards, and James Conner have 64 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey should see a lot of work too.
Right, CMC is an absolute smash.
I would look for him on his receptions line because it's usually like around 6, 7, and he can sometimes catch like 10 balls in a game.
Yeah, he can.
You know what I mean? So just something to look at if you're going to be submitting any parlays this weekend. But yeah, I think also like you said, I don't know. I don't think Kyler actually has a big game. If they are playing well, it's probably because the running game is actually doing more than he is, and he's part of the running game.
Right.
But it's just you just don't see these games where Kyler's just slinging it all over the place.
I know. So I think for fantasy purposes, he has a big game.
Yeah, which is normally the case because he's one of the few that uses his legs all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you got the 49ers?
Yeah, I got the 49ers.
Yeah, I'll take the. I don't like it, but I'll
I
take the 49ers.
like just Mac Jones. Like you just know this he's going to be serviceable for sure.
Yeah.
At the minimum, he can actually have a good game.
So would you rather start Ricky Pearsall or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I would probably go with Ricky Pearsall. I just don't trust Kyler throwing the ball like that.
Jawan Jennings or Ricky Pearsall? You can only start one.
Ricky Pearsall for sure.
Ricky Pearsall?
Yeah.
Okay, you like Ricky Pearsall, huh?
I do like him.
Okay.
I like the wide receivers that make the most of what they have stature wise. Like he's not the biggest guy, but these guys that
he makes
run
some
those
pretty wicked catches.
They make some crazy catches.
Even back in college, he was balling.
And then they also run these crisp routes, which is really nice to see.
Routes?
Yeah, crisp. Like it's just so clean and it's so fluid that it's just like it's hard for you're like, no wonder this cornerback couldn't stop this guy.
Yeah.
Like he fucking snapped his ankles. You know what I mean? So I just think he's just a very good player. And I think Mac Jones has a solid rapport with them so far, and they're going to look to continue that.
Okay. Chiefs at the Giants is our Sunday night matchup.
Trash.
We got Chiefs favored on the road by 6.5 points. Both teams are coming into this week 0-2, and this is a big storyline for both teams. If the Chiefs start 0-3, what happens to them? Does this mean anything for the long term? And if the Giants start 0-3, what does this mean for Brian Daboll? What does this mean for Russell Wilson? Do they both get, sat to the side and talked about? Or we don't know what happens. So I think this is one of those cases where you don't want to go 0-3. I
think the Giants bought themselves some time with the way they played Dallas because they should have won that game. Yeah. Like they're they're a Brandon Aubrey away from winning that game.
Yeah, they really. If Brandon Aubrey doesn't exist, they win. That game.
If the Cowboys have any other kicker that's ever played in the NFL,
except maybe like prime Matt Prater,
maybe one other guy in the history of
maybe
NFL,
like prime Adam Vinatieri
in the history of the NFL. That's
and maybe
three.
Like prime Justin Tucker.
No, at that you got to cut it somewhere. You know what
Justin
I mean?
Tucker has the record,
right? But there's a difference when these guys are hitting these kicks in the high pressure situations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Aubrey does it to win games consistently for the Cowboys, which says a lot of other things about the Cowboys that we're not going to get into. But all I'm saying is that the Giants probably bought themselves a little bit of time with the way they performed in the game against Dallas.
I like Patrick Mahomes in this game. I like Malik Neighbors in this game. I like Cam Scatterbo in this game, and I think that's all I'm touching.
Yeah, I mean Hollywood Brown's probably going to be serviceable too. I think he probably has a few more weeks.
He'll be like a good
that.
flex option.
Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, you still have nothing to show from that situation there, and they probably both don't like each other. They're like, dude, without you, I'd be balling. You know what I mean? Like
without you, I'd be balling.
You know, so it's just one of those things where it's like.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, like we talked about, is a top 20 rusher on the year so far.
That's crazy.
So he's their number one running back and their number one.
Look for his rushing yards if you're throwing parlays around.
Yeah,
maybe even his rushing attempts too.
Rushing attempts, yeah.
Something to think about. I got the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs. I don't think they can start 0-3. Lions at the
Ravens. Now,
Ravens.
if they do, right?
Okay.
Should the city of Kansas City shut down for a whole week and then they have tryouts, mandatory tryouts for everybody between the age of 18 and 25 that is in good standing physical shape?
I think they should.
That'd be cool, right?
Specifically for slot wide receiver.
Well, just for any position.
Back.
Like, let's just throw pads on these guys and let's see what hits.
You want 500,000 done?
Yeah, and then it'll shut the city down for a week. Everybody gets some time off. Because all they care about in Kansas City is that football team.
That's fair.
And 0-3, sound the alarms.
Sound the alarms.
Sound them. You know what I mean? Those tornado alarms they have over there.
Do the Chiefs cover the spread, though?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
By a touchdown?
Yeah, barely, I would say.
Okay. Lions at Ravens is our Monday night football game, and we got the Ravens favored at home by 4.5 points against a Lions team that just put up 50
This is
points.
probably my favorite matchup of the week.
100%. These are teams that have been extremely electric over the past 2-3 years, or maybe 2 years for the Lions. Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Zay Flowers, Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Samuel Porter. You're starting all of those guys.
Yep.
You're not sitting a single one of those guys. And even if you say, oh, well, I don't like Jameson Williams, you're starting him. He got a 50-yard touchdown last week. You're starting him no matter what. Like
his upside is there for sure.
You might not like the 2 targets on the week, but you're starting him because he has the ability and capability of scoring an 85-yard touchdown.
What's the difference between ability and capability? Isn't that the same thing?
Well, you're able to do something,
and you're also capable to do it. So it's literally the same thing.
So is that redundant?
Yes, that was the most redundant thing you've ever said.
No.
What I like in this matchup, and I'm actually taking the Lions here.
Give me the Ravens.
I just think the Ravens. The Ravens allow a lot of points, and Jared Goff, if he is on fire, he's really going to make it tough for the Ravens to stop him, and then they're going to have to play catch-up ball.
Okay, so the definition of ability is the innate or learned capacity to perform an action or skill.
Okay.
Capability, the definition is the effective and efficient power to do something, especially something difficult or complex, often involving a collection of abilities, knowledge, tools, and process. So capability has to do with the effectiveness and the efficiency.
And you need to be able to do it to be capable.
That's a bar.
That's crazy.
You can't have one without the other, but they're not the same thing.
Right.
Damn, that was a bar.
But that was very redundant.
A little bit.
You're just throwing big words in there. I got the hiccups. It's cold in here.
It's cold.
I'm freezing.
Okay. I think that's it, really. I mean, starts of the week. I mean, like we said, everybody in the Cowboys game, everybody in the Lions game. Those are our
sit
two
all
big
those
ones.
defenses, by the way. Too.
Yes, please sit those defenses if you
Stay
play
away.
with defenses in your league.
Stay away.
I actually want to do something off the rip, just really quick. I want to look over our fantasy teams since we're headed into week 3.
Which one?
We got a little bit of a recap. The 2 that we're in together.
I don't like one of them.
I don't like one of them. So we're in 2 fantasy leagues together. We are in a dynasty league and we are in a redraft league.
Redraft.
A redraft league. The redraft is 10-team, full PPR, 6-point passing touchdown. And the dynasty is, or no, did I say the dynasty? The redraft is 12-team, full PPR, 6-point passing touchdown. And the dynasty is 10-man,
team.
full PPR, 6-point passing touchdown.
Yeah.
So,
0-2 in the dynasty, by the way.
Are you really?
Yeah, I had Joe Burrow.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it's okay. The other one, the other league, the Make Fantasy Football Great Again.
Yeah.
Actually 2-0 in that one.
We're both 2-0 in that league.
Number 3 in the rankings.
I think I'm number 2 in the rankings. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, I think I just came away with some good solid picks, and they're all hitting right now. But who knows if this is sustainable? You know what I mean?
So who are your big hitters on your team?
Dak has been huge because I took him super late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to get a quarterback that's producing at his clip is very nice. Zaquan, floor guy. Kyron, floor guy. Jackson Smith and Jigba's been big. Drake London, he's teetering in my starting lineup right now. Jake Ferguson's there. Emeka Egbuka, Javonte Williams, and Jameson Williams on this squad as well. And then Isaiah Pacheco. But yeah, for the most part, the big hitters, Zaquan, Dak, JSN so far.
Okay.
And Egbuka for now.
Well, I had to pick up. I actually picked up Kyler Murray off waivers this week. Yeah, because I had JJ McCarthy and now he's down. So I didn't really want to start him anymore, anyways.
Yeah, dude, come on.
So I actually made a waiver claim for Sam Darnold and he got taken. So somebody else had dropped Kyler Murray to fill in a position in their spot or in their lineup. So I picked him up right away. My 2 running backs, Bucky Irving, Chase Brown. Chase Brown has not been great. Bucky Irving is, your floor guy again without the touchdown. CeeDee Lamb is the definition of a floor guy. I actually made a trade for AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and that was a really big one because I bought him after week 1, and the manager that had him completely panicked. He saw that Lions team week 1, and he said, I want nothing to do with it, and that was a big mistake. And week 2, I got Amon-Ra 40-point ball.
That guy should be kicked out of the league next year, just saying. Even if it is my dad or sister.
No, it wasn't your
or
dad.
cousin.
Okay. Terry McLaurin is my 3rd wide receiver. I started Keon Coleman this week. Should not have done that, but, hindsight is always 20/20. Jawan Johnson is my tight end. I started with, I don't even know who, and I picked him up. I also picked up Harold Fannin after week 1, just because I saw it right away and I saw that dude break out. So even if I don't start him, I'd rather him not be on another team, and I'd rather just keep him from everyone else since I don't need depth right now. And then Jordan Addison, I'm looking forward to him coming back in the next week. So that's our redraft league. And then Dynasty, I'm 1-1. So I've won 1, lost 1, and I'm on pace to win again this week. And Drake May is my quarterback. I love Drake May. He's my Lord and Savior.
We get it, dude. We fucking get it.
Dude,
Jesus.
he's been so good. In 6-point passing touchdowns, he's had 18 points week 1 and 30 points week 2.
You know what I noticed? We said floor guy a lot on this pod.
We did.
A lot.
Well, there's a lot of floor guys.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's because we're still getting our feet wet with the season. You know, we're only 2
Right.
weeks deep. We're not even 3 weeks deep. Like,
Right.
we're talking about week
Right.
3.
We're going to the ceiling, but we're barely at the floor. You know what I'm saying?
That one wasn't good.
Yeah, I know. But we're going up, folks.
We're going up. I think that does it for episode 29. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Shout out.
If you guys are not subscribed, make sure you do so down below.
Wait. Shout out the homie that left the IG voice memo.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Christian.
Christian?
He left the voice memo.
Remember what I told you now, brother. Do not, and I repeat, do not drive and use your cellular communication device, okay, at the
You
same
don't
time.
need to out him like that, though.
No, I know, but I mean,
little safety claim?
So, I mean, what happened? Nobody saw it. Nobody's gonna, you can't get in trouble now.
Right. Nobody knows what his face looks like.
Only the big man upstairs. He can only be the judge of you, not not Adam here. So, episode 29.
We do have our Instagram. Make sure you go check that out. Make sure you also check out our website that is now live. We have all of our weekly rankings, and we will be updating that obviously every single week. That's what weekly rankings mean. It is thesidelinepodcast.my.canva.site. That is again the Sideline Podcast, all one word, .my.canva.site.
Also, another voice note, please. I like them. I like playing them. And when
They're cool, huh?
When you do it, please say first time, long time. And if you know what that means, I do not have to explain it. If you don't know what it means, then you never really got to appreciate sports talk on the radio.
Shut up. We got to come up with more drops. That's what we need.
I'm telling you, I already came up with one. Pick 'em up.
Pick them up.
That's a good
Which one did
right
I say? I forgot which one I said
I
already.
forgot to. It wasn't that good. That's why.
Shut up.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you check out our TikTok, Instagram, website, and we will see you later. Peace.